don't think the 0 for 15 stat line is like as disappointing for us as a team. I think coming out and letting, like Flan said, Burke get five threes, just not having that discipline right from the jump in our communication, being in the right gap, trusting our help. And so I think the defensive end was the most disappointing part.
I feel like the only time y'all were able to put anything together was from the foul line. Do you think you need to get to the foul line more, or just were you taking the right shots that were calling?
Yeah, a lot of what we were talking about in timeouts was just like being more aggressive, like going at them. Like we got nothing to lose on offense, and to get back into the game, we're gonna have to play more aggressive on the offensive and defensive end.
Did you get the sense at the start of the game shook you guys up a little bit, like maybe that you were surprised how much pop they had and how things weren't going right in response on offense for you guys, and it just kind of shook things up a little bit?
Yeah, I think we were coming into the game confident, coming away from the last game, but they definitely came out with more of a spark than us, and I think it did rattle us a little bit. And we didn't settle in as much offensively, but also we didn't find our groove in the defensive end.
Defensively, what was happening on the boards in the first quarter as well?
Yeah, good question. Our plan was to face guard box out, keep 10, keep Segrist off the glass, and for us to do that, we have to peel back too. So it was just kind of a two-way failure on that end. But yeah, and we, when we're going, not getting as many makes, we got to hit the offensive glass even harder. So.
Mallory, what were the big points of emphasis coming into for you guys tonight? Just the game plan.
Yeah, obviously we were Segrist aware. She's a great player. So it was kind of just knowing your personnel, who you're guarding, but also having enough help, having enough gap presence, communication. And we're not too worried about the offense. We find our groove on the offensive end, and we work on our actions every day. So it was more defensive focus for sure.
It felt like Maggie didn't really get going into that second quarter, but everybody else was, and eventually being disappointed on defense. I guess what felt furthest from what you guys talked about ahead of the game in terms of defense?
I think their screen actions really threw us, and we weren't communicating through those. So I think that's where we got stuck the most.
When Flynn says maybe you guys weren't worried about the right things, what does that mean to you? What do you think he's talking about?
Sometimes it can be easy to come into a mindset of worrying about who your personnel is and just getting tunnel visioned on defense, or even offensively going 0 for 15. We might get too focused on our shots aren't falling, and then that carrying over to the defensive end.
In the third, there was a moment where it felt like y'all had taken momentum and then you lost it. What happened there?
Yeah, I think we had slivers of greatness in that game, but that's not enough to win a 40-minute game when we're down that much. But it's hard to maintain energy when they just keep punching you back. So consistency.
Take 2 more questions from Al.
I know that you guys were most disappointed with the defensive effort tonight. I was going to say that, but what do you think caused you guys struggles to kind of just only have those little slivers of offense instead of just sort of kind of finding that spark and rolling with it?
Yeah, I think we struggled. They rattled us on the defensive end, and we weren't reading what they were giving us on closeouts. We weren't swinging the ball, getting it moving a little bit. So our offense just got a little stagnant at the top of the key, which for us to get in our groove, we got to swing it, we got to rotate it, we got to get those curl actions, which is what we do our best.
Father, it's kind of, they caught you slipping here. As you go out there, what needs to be top of mind in terms of the things that you guys focus on to make sure you guys get off to a better control of the game, I guess?
Yeah, I think it's important right now between our next practice to not get too down, but let it sink in, reflect and everything. But we're going to come in and work hard in practice and just worry about what we can do best and have the discipline to step in the next game ready.